Hey there, I'm Sean Kilroy and I help young people on the carnivore diet. So today I wanted to talk about chronic disease and its relation with this diet. So chronic disease are a lot of issues nowadays where there are diseases that cannot be reversed. But here's the thing, what I'm going to tell you, that these diseases can actually be reversed, okay? So why does chronic disease happen? What causes chronic disease? Well, what causes chronic disease is going to be the poisoning and malnutrition of our species. So, eating so many plants and being exposed to these toxic environmental things will cause us to have chronic disease and malnutrition, which will result in chronic disease. A lot of people who switch to carnivore typically have a lot of testimonials on chronic disease, which is why I think it's important to make this video, because I just want to tell people that there are so many testimonies now that this diet definitely does something, okay? So when you are putting good food, high quality nutrition, your no toxins, no lectins, no oxalates, bioavailable nutrients, and you are able to actually absorb all the things that you need, there is nothing poisoning you or nothing that is toxic to you, such as oxalates that are stored in your tissues. And you are not going to be nutrient deficient, which can allow you to just be healthy, right? Nutrient deficiency can be deadly in some cases. I'll go into that in a minute. Plants cause most allergens and autoimmune issues. There, I said it, okay? So, they do. They trigger these things because it is poisonous, right, in your body, and the environmental factors are also going to trigger these things. So autoimmune disease is when your body attacks itself, right? And why would your body attack itself if there's nothing to defend itself from, if there's nothing attacking you or nothing dangerous in your body? That's because there is, the whole time, there is something in there, right? And that's the oxalates, and that is what's going to be poisoning you. And that poison will damage your system. Your system tries to get out. It's like, no, don't do that. And it will continue to fight itself, and you get these autoimmune issues, which prevail now still, right? This is very important knowledge, right? This is going to be extremely essential, especially if you're younger. You can avoid getting these chronic diseases, right? And imagine that, like a life where you're happy and you never have to worry about that. Like, I think it's worth it. I really do. It's having a life of suffering and in fear of disease is not how we are supposed to be programmed. It's not how we are supposed to work. That is not how we are supposed to live our lives, okay? So that, these drug companies and these recommendations that they're pushing are not okay, all right? And that is what we are trying to get. Humans are not meant to be sick. Surprise, surprise, right? If you look at animals who are fed human food, they get our same diseases. But from that, we don't get the conclusion that, oh, we must be eating the wrong thing, right? You get like a fat dog. You'll never see a fat wolf in the wild or a fat dog, right? If they're eating what they want to eat and they're eating what they know they need to eat and what is appropriate for them, they will not be getting sick. And the funny thing is, we get these illnesses, yet we don't think anything of it. Oh, it's, we are programmed to think, okay, we need medicine to fix this issue. But that is not what we need. We don't need more medicine. We need to fix the root cause, which is your diet, okay? That is what we need to do. So if you've heard enough at this point and you want to start, go ahead, and I encourage you to start right now, because I definitely know that you are going to have a lot of improvements on this diet, and I can't wait for people to see that when they switch, because I think it's great, right? Another thing to back this up is that in the early 1900s, these diseases were much rarer, and as falsification of red meat and vilification of it were pushed out in the 1977 Declaration, they became so common that, now it's just so much of what people are suffering from and what they have to be treated for. And that is because we decreased That is because we decreased meat and dairy consumption and increased grains, fruits, and vegetables, which are supposed to be good for us. But I guess not. Right? So this resulted in tripling of all diseases you know today. Autism, cancer, Alzheimer's, arthritis, stroke, diabetes, everything tripled after this. So if this is not enough to convince you, then I don't know what is, because that is ridiculous to think that, oh yeah, we're eating healthier now than we were 100 years ago, and yet we have a laundry list of just issues that people have. So this is not the first time someone has thought of this as a cure to chronic disease. Back in the 1800s, Dr. Salisbury wrote a book about these diseases in relation to diet and disease. So this is not a new concept. This is, it's really not a new concept. And it was by eating just a red meat and water diet, pure red meat and water diet. He was basically ahead of his time in curing diseases before we even came up with the solutions to cure diseases, which didn't actually cure diseases, called pills and drugs, right? So he was already ahead of that. And so he was curing arthritis, right? Because that was one of the things with no medication, which is crazy. This is not the first time that someone has proposed this. This is a species-appropriate diet can cure diseases that we have and can heal the damage, right? This food heals. Meat heals. It does not damage. It will heal your issues. So if you are suffering from any of chronic diseases, I really recommend that you try this out in a stricter version. So no dairy, no fruit, none of that. Meat, water. Basically, that is what a Lion diet is. Or you can add like fat. Tallow is the least sensitive, because you want to heal yourself, right? You probably have been damaged, depending on how old you are and how sensitive your body is. And you need to recover from that, because you're just going to keep getting worse, right? That's the truth. That is the hard truth, okay? So if you go the other route, and let's say you want to go vegan, your issues are going to get a lot worse, okay? Typically people will feel better coming on a vegan diet because they come off of processed foods. And so their body's able to kind of recover from that, but now you're dealing with oxalate poisoning and lectin poisoning from eating so many plants. So it's not doing anything too much better. And more or less vegan is more of a long-term poison where it takes build-up of years and decades and your body wearing down for you to see these, like I said earlier, a laundry list of issues that are caused by inappropriate diet, okay? And one of the things, this is ridiculous. I can't believe that people are still on this, because there's a vitamin deficiency in the vegan diet, and that's B12 and K2. If there is a vitamin deficiency in a diet, you shouldn't be eating it, because that's not what you need to eat to get all your vitamins and to get all your minerals and nutrients. That's obviously not the right food if you're missing things that your body needs, right? And so what people see is a shrinkage of their spinal cord due to a lack of vitamin B12, which can actually lead to brain damage. All right, I'll say it again. Brain damage. Lack of B12 results in thinning of your spinal cord and brain damage. Because you have such low levels of this vitamin, it can cause neurological issues after about 7 years of not having or refilling your vitamin B12. That's just K2 deficiencies. You're gonna have teeth issues, jaw issues. A lot of vegans don't have jaws, right? So that's another reason why. And those two things are missing, so that means it's missing something. The diet itself is missing essential nutrients. Oh, but you can supplement it. But why would you need to supplement? How would we survive? How would we have survived when we didn't have supplements? Right? What? So there are people with just absolutely just long lists of issues ranging from depression to Crohn's to, whatever it is, right? These chronic issues, and they're able to reverse them or significantly reduce the effect that they have on their body. And that is saying something. That is just crazy that you can do that, because most people don't think that once you have it, you can reverse it. They just think that it's permanent, but you can literally reverse what is thought to be impossible to get rid of. And that is, I just think it's great, right? So that is another reason why I like to promote this, because I like to see these results in other people. I see these improvements, right? It heals your soul. And who doesn't want to heal their soul? And who doesn't want to feel this emotion of happiness because someone is healthy? that is, it's such a great thing. And so when people are suffering, it hurts even more when you realize that they're most likely suffering due to malnutrition and these other things. It's very sad. It really is. So I'll say it again, if you think vegan is still okay, you will have brain damage on vegan diet. Do not do the vegan diet, okay? That it causes other things too. It can literally cause so many other upsets. And vegan diet will lead to a ton of chronic issues, right? Maybe not now, you feel a little bit better now, but over time the poisoning and oxalates will catch up to you, and you will have oxalate poisoning, and your body will be trying to get rid of it in your bloodstream and storing it in your tissues. So over time you're going to degenerate your body, and that's not good. That is really not good. And by that time, when you're 30 or 40, you have these issues. If you haven't already not died from a heart attack because of lack of cholesterol, then you'll suffer these issues, right? So many people now are having heart attacks so young because they aren't eating enough fat, and it's just sad. So do not wait. Take action now and fix your health. This is not something to mess around with, right? Especially earlier on, you can feel invincible, and really it's not going to affect you as much, but later on you have to make sure that you are healthy. So now is the best time to do that, right? Both these diets, the standard American diet and the vegan diet, they have been able to do so much damage to people's bodies, and they can do so much damage that can actually be permanent, right? So much damage, like you have something removed, something is like half of it's gone or half of it doesn't work. That's how damaging this is. This is not supposed to happen, right? This is not supposed to happen. So all these people that promote these other diets, like the vegan diet, right? Vegan diet, or like standard American diet, which is mostly just the government. It is extremely messed up. Like, I cannot tell you how messed up that is, because so many people, by the millions or in the billions, are suffering from disease. 90% of Americans have at least one metabolic disease. And so by the millions and the billions, people are suffering and people are dying because of this. So this is not okay. This treatment of how they think you're supposed to eat is not okay. This is promoting a very just detrimental diet, which is not healthy at all. The other thing is, people always think genetics are causing these chronic illnesses. And while it's true that genetics can actually make you more predisposed, those genes are only activated if you are eating incorrectly, or you have metabolic disease, or you are metabolically unhealthy. Then those things activate. Oh, the cancer one, heart attack one, right? Heart disease. Those will not happen if you are eating what you're supposed to be eating, right? Which is meat. And those things will not affect you, but they will affect people, and they will be more sensitive if people are eating, right? You have two people eating the same standard American diet. One has that predisposition because they're eating so horribly, they're going to get that. The other person might not, but they will have other health issues, right? It just increases your chance when you're eating incorrectly. And another thing too that can affect is your toxic elements in your environment, right? Air quality, just what you're surrounded by affects a lot of that too. So what I leave you with, do not be a victim to these diseases. Fight for your health and change your diet. This is more than just eating meat. This is curing diseases. This is fighting against these false standards. This is fighting against people who are pushing drugs on you. You don't need them. This is more than just a diet. This is a lifestyle, and this is promoting true health. And that is why it's so important, because you need to stop letting these industries create a monopoly off of our poor health conditions and continue to abuse that and get as much money out of us as possible, because that is not what it's about. Okay, so join this fight and improve your health, change your diet. And that is one thing you can control, and one way you can help fight corruption and help fight this unjust, horrible treatment of our society in terms of what we are recommended to do for our health. Thank you for watching. If you liked, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.